Tighten up. Let's get tightened. It's a brand new dance and we about to go live. Tighten up, Nashville, rep the 615. First you tighten two steps, step to the right. Then you tighten two steps, step to the left. Blue jerseys everywhere, game face, yeah we got it on. Sticking out our chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Countdown, 3, 2, 1. It's about to get rough. Here come the train, y'all. Tennessee, tighten up. Tighten up, let's get tightened up. Tighten up, let's get tightened up. Sticking up, beating on it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Tighten two steps, step to the right. Do the tighten two steps, step to the left. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Sticking out my chest, beating on it like it's King Kong. Okay, all right. Tighten up your hands all night.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing this evening? And welcome back into another edition of Titans and Truth by High Demand. So I take it some of y'all missed me. What's going on, y'all? Look, sorry I've been kind of in exile for the last couple weeks after the draft. So, I definitely apologize. Had some things going on, some things that come up. So that's why I haven't been around, but I am back and in full effect. And we are here, Titans and Truth, basically kind of recapping some things from the draft and catching up on some stuff, since I was about a week late. Let's just be honest with that. I had something come. That's why I wasn't able to do the show last week. So I thank y'all so much for being patient with me. Thank y'all for sticking with me, and I'm definitely gonna make sure I bring some good content for you, and we are gonna have a heck of a good time and a good night and some good Titans conversation. So y'all make sure y'all share this show out, let everybody know what's going on, spread the word, and let everybody know that Titans and Truth is back. TNT is here, and we ain't going nowhere. I guarantee you on that. So we got a lot to get to. And so everybody, C-Dub, what's up? C-Dub, what's going on? Marcus Marigoda, how's it going? DO9 Motivation, yo, what up? And, definitely, Marcus, I know you said you missed me. Hey, I missed y'all too. I'm glad y'all are here. And I want to thank all of y'all who either came to the draft party or who watched the live stream as the draft was going on. Had a lot of fun, had a lot of things going down, and that was a great night. That was definitely a great night. Shout out to my frat brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, the Eta Beta Sigma chapter, for coming out. And definitely thank you to, everybody, whether you're Titans fans or if you're fans of another team. If you just happen to come to the party, thank you so much for that. Definitely a shout out to my homegirl, Miss Sharon Cushman. Shout out to her for coming. Also, shout out to Miss Frankie and to Daryl John coming all the way from the H-Town, coming from Houston to come to the party. So I thank y'all and thank all my loyal fans for showing up. And I know a lot of y'all were downtown at the draft, which was incredible. I mean, they said well over 600,000 people were there all 3 days. So that is incredible. I, was down there the last 2 days, especially on that Friday, and it was a sea of humanity. It was, crazy. And I enjoyed every single second of it. And what I may have to do, I need to make sure I remember to put my 40 up on the phone and everything. So I'm going to have to put my 40 time kind of did about the same as I did before, around the 5.7. So I really didn't improve my time like I wanted to. So that'll be a goal for the next draft to improve my 40 time. So that's something I'm definitely going to work on getting better at. But had a great time. Draftville. We set records, baby. Cashville came up. So I guarantee you when I tell you, the NFL draft has got to come back to Nashville, Tennessee. And that might open up for a lot of other things like, maybe a Super Bowl or something like that with a new stadium, or definitely looks like with the MLS, with the Nashville SC team. Now, once they get going, they already said that a MLS All-Star game is coming to Nashville sooner rather than later once Nashville gets into MLS next season. So that's going to be huge, and that can open up a whole lot of different things. So shouts out to all the Titan fans and all the football fans that came to town and everybody here. I saw a lot of Titan fans out there. We tightened up big time. Hopefully next time I'll be in the inner circle. So that was, I had a ball. I had a ball. I hope y'all did too. What did y'all think of the NFL draft being in Nashville, whether you watched it or you were actually there? I want to see y'all comments. I want to see all y'all comments of what you think of the draft. And, as far as the atmosphere, we're going to talk about the draft picks in just a minute. But I just want to give a shout out to everybody. So I appreciate everybody, sticking with me and things like that. And we're going to definitely have some fun. And I'm just going to let everybody keep trickling on in just a little bit. And Marcus, you are absolutely right. I did say that in my board of wide receivers, A.J. Brown being my number one wide receiver on my board. And yes, Titans got him. I was quite happy about that. I agree. Let's see. Marcus said, looked like a lot of fun. Would have been there if I didn't have a big school-wide test. Understand that. Shout out to all the teachers. Shout out to all the teachers out there. Definitely doing their thing for the students and for the kids. I definitely understand. Tests are important. I want everybody to make sure they get their education. So that's always important. I definitely agree with that. Let's see. CW said, I saw you was a Simmons pick. I did not like the pick at first, but thinking and researching more, I love that pick now for sure after getting AJ in round 2. I agree with that. So we're definitely we're going to get into that in just a moment. But again, shout out to everybody. AZ Mick, as usual, what's going on? Hunter K, how's it going? Welcome on in, and make sure y'all spread the word. Tell everybody about this show. Make sure y'all talk about it on Facebook, talk about it on Instagram, Twitter. Spread the word, everybody. Let everybody know about the show so people can come on in here. But let's go ahead and get into this draft for the Tennessee Titans. Now, if y'all want to talk about the whole draft in general, go back and watch the last episode of the live draft coverage. It was we had a lot of fun. There was a lot of music. There was a lot of partying going on. Y'all saw some dancing going on out there. I was just letting y'all want to be a part of the party. So it was definitely cool. And I had to kind of get some things going. So I kind of had to talk bad about YouTube a little bit, but at the same time, they cool beans on that. I had to make sure I, put on there, I do not own the rights to the music and everything. So they would play it because I know there was a lot of good music in the background. But let's talk about this draft. And the Tennessee Titans, I think, in my honest opinion, did an excellent job in this draft. They had 6 picks. They used them. And John Robinson only made one trade, and that was in the 4th round, and didn't have to give up any other picks. They basically swapped positions, I believe, in the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken, on that. So that was basically what happened with that. But I think the Titans did an excellent job in this draft. First off, let's start off with the first pick at number 19, and that would be defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons from Mississippi State. Now, this, I have my Shut Your Piehole moment later in the show. I got another one, but I just came up with one. I got to, basically talk about it. Well, I'll save that for later. I'm not going to really go into that. But Jeffrey Simmons at pick 19. I was a little shocked by the pick because you had guys like Montez Sweat still on the board. And if you saw the show, the draft coverage, I was banging the table for Montez Sweat. I'm thinking Montez Sweat was going to be the guy. I know he had the heart condition and everything, but I just thought Montez Sweat would be just too good to pass up. You got to pick him. I just thought Sweat was the best player on the board for me, but they went with Jeffrey Simmons. And what I was shocked about the pick, but in the end, I really, really, really like this pick now for the Tennessee Titans. Yes, he's still recovering from the ACL injury he suffered in February while training for the combine, which he may be back around, I would say, at the earliest week 8, but I would probably say at the latest week 11 after our bye week. So I think he's going to be ready to go. He'll be ready to go by then. He's definitely going to be working on rehab and healing. And I think once he comes back at 100%, he is going to be a monster. I I did some studying on this guy. I didn't do a lot of studying on him because I didn't think he would be available for us. But Jeffrey Simmons is a monster in the middle. This guy is, you know, how I called Christian Wilkins a game changer, and he went 13 to the Miami Dolphins, and how I called Ed Oliver a game wrecker who went number 9 to Buffalo. This guy is a game wrecker. Let me tell you, he was causing problems for a lot of teams. And I mean, you know, the game against Iowa, he did very well. The game against Ole Miss, he did very well. And I mean, you know, he held his own against Alabama as well. So Jeffrey Simmons, he's very good at stopping the run, had over 160 tackles and over 30 plus tackles for loss. Now, he only had 7 sacks, but a lot of the times was because he was facing double teams, which led to Montez Sweat getting the sacks that he was getting. And I can tell you now, I mean, Jeffrey Simmons, home run pick, I'm telling you. I mean, excellent. And I mean, without the injury, the injury was a blessing to us. That's why he was there for us at 19. Because if it wasn't for that injury, he would have been long gone before we picked at 19. There was no way he would have made it to 19. He probably wouldn't have even made it out of the top 5 or top 10 if he was 100% healthy. So, in a way, thank you to the football gods, because we got a blessing in disguise with that. Now, of course, you know, he does come with a little bit of baggage, and that includes the incident that happened with him in high school when he was 17, 18 years old, was involved in an altercation with his sister and another woman who was, I think, talking bad about his mom and his sister and things like that. He tried to get in and break it up, and, you know, ended up, you know, kind of causing a little bit more damage or anything like that. And what I say to all of that, I am not condoning what he did. I saw the tape myself. I saw the video. You know, I'm not condoning what he did or anything like that. Yes, it was messed up. It was wrong. But at the same time, what would any of you have done in his situation defending family? Now, true enough, I am not condoning hitting a woman. Absolutely not. No man should ever put his hands on a woman like that. Absolutely not. However, I will say this. In high school, at the young age of 17, somebody talking bad about your mama, oh, I ain't gonna lie, I would probably beat somebody down too. I ain't even gonna lie about that. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just being honest. Now, that is me talking as if I was 17 years old in high school. Now, I made my mistakes in high school too. I think all of us have at a time have done something stupid in high school that we regret now. And what won me over with him was the press conference the next day. And that was the fact, you know, Jeffrey came in, he faces it head on. He does not shy away from it. He accepts full responsibility. And, you know, what I liked about the fact is, you know, Mike Vrabel was behind him. John Robinson was behind them. And obviously, they did their homework. They did a lot of vetting on Jeffrey Simmons. They, you know, talked to everybody, you know, from the athletic director to the coaches at Mississippi State. And pretty much, as everybody has said, a lot of people had nothing but glowing things to say about Jeffrey Simmons since that incident. Ever since then, and that was, you know, 3+ years ago, he has been nothing but an upstanding citizen and football player. He's been in the community. He has, done things to try to be a role model to young kids to make sure that they don't make the same mistake he did and things like that to prevent anything like that from ever happening to somebody else again. And what did it for me was not John Robinson or Mike Vrabel, having his back. Amy Adams Strunk, our controlling owner, was in the press conference and she had his back. And that was the thing that did it for me. And, say what you want, but Amy Adams Strunk was not speaking in that conference as the owner of the Tennessee Titans. She was not speaking as a part of the organization. She was speaking coming from being a female, from being a woman. And she said it herself in the press conference that herself, J-Rob, and Coach Vrabel all sat and watched the video, and they all sat and talked about all of this. Because obviously enough, for this particular player to be on this team, Amy Adams Strunk had to sign off on it. She had to be good with this. Because if she was not, that pick would have never been made. And the fact that she vetted and that she had his back spoke wonders. Class act on everybody's part. And so all I can say is I'm with Jeffrey Simmons. As long as he don't make that type of mistake again, which I don't think he will. And he's going to be in the locker room with a lot of great guys. Jarrell Casey has said great things about him. He said, hey, I cannot wait to work with him. I'm going to push him. I'm going to push him to be better and anything like that, because those two together are going to cause havoc. And like I said on the show, Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, Nick Foles start having nightmares at night about 98 and 99. And how fitting both of them are going to have their numbers together. 98, 99. That's Jeffrey Simmons' numbers, 98. He wore 98, I believe, his freshman year at Mississippi State before changing to 94. Now, I do think that if Austin Johnson ain't on the team no more, he will eventually change to number 94. But I think 98 fits pretty good. So I absolutely love the Jeffrey Simmons pick now after I really had to think about it, sit back, watch some more footage and the press conference. I am down for that. So I'm going to go up and read some comments. I'm going to go up and read a few comments before we keep going. And then, of course, Mama's boy coming in said we got his sidekick, Braxton Hoyer, as a undrafted free agent. I saw that. And I heard Jared on Jared the GM said that dude is huge. A big dude. So, I mean, if he makes this team, he'll be beneficial because, hey, they can do it together. They can do it together. And C-Dub says J-Rob got great value at every pick, but if he could add Sue, help the D-line out until around the bye for Simmons. And you know what? I absolutely agree with that. That was something that I said to a couple of fans, is that John Robinson should still get another defensive lineman just so, that helps until Jeffrey Simmons is fully 100%. And so, for example, they did sign Brent Urban from the Baltimore Ravens. The day after they picked Jeffrey Simmons, they agreed to a one-year deal with Urban. So that's more for depth. But I think bringing in an Ndamukong Suh or Muhammad Wilkerson would do wonders until Jeffrey Simmons is fully 100%. I definitely agree with that. Let's see. D09 says, we had a great draft, but doesn't mean nothing if the quarterback is not better than 11 touchdowns. Definitely, I understand that. We'll talk more about it. Simmons says, it's a beast, reminds me of Fletcher Cox, but looks faster. A lot of people were comparing him to Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox, of course, also went to Mississippi State as well. C-Dub says, with the Simmons incident, with how he has lived his life and how he handled himself in the press conference, I admire the guy. And I agree with that because he literally broke down to tears when Amy Adams Strunk was talking about him and talking about, saying that we didn't just get a great player, we got a great man. And I mean, it spoke glowingly and I mean, did wonders because I think he is a good guy at the end of the day. I watched I cannot remember the name of the episode, but it was basically like a welcome home or something like that, where Jeffrey Simmons was driving around his old neighborhood in Mississippi. And, he went to visit his high school, talked about the neighborhoods that he lived in and things like that, and how, his teachers and, his coaches were just talking great about him and said a lot of good things about him. And also, he did extremely well in his classes. The guy is smart. He did well in his academics. I believe he graduated with a 3.0, I want to say. So he did very well in school, as well as in the classroom, as well as on the field. And so, you usually get a lot of knuckleheads who are not very good in the classroom, but this guy is not one of those guys. He did very well in the classroom. I think he, made some academic teams or something like that. Maybe all academic SEC. I'm not 100%, but I think he did very well academically, if I remember correctly. So shout out to Jeffrey Simmons on that. Let's see. We need some good O-linemen for Marcus. We need to get some players in the NHL, protect Pecorine. I know Joseph is a big Predators fan as well as a Titans fan. And I know with the Predators fans, it's not a lot to cheer for right now because our season is over. We'll see what they do in free agency on that. But I'm going to definitely get on that in just a minute. I'm going to talk with some more comments, definitely. In the second round, the Titans, of course, went wide receiver with A.J. Brown. And I'll be honest, I love this pick more than I love the Simmons pick because at this point, I said with A.J. Brown on the board, I said it's got to be A.J. Brown or it's got to be a wide receiver because I also knew DK Metcalf was on the board at this point also because a lot of people were wondering why DK Metcalf was falling the way he did because I remember some mock drafts, he was mocked as high as 7 or, definitely going in the first round, the only wide receiver that would go in the first round, but it didn't happen. He did not go until 64, close to the end of the second round with the Seattle Seahawks. But we ended up picking A.J. Brown at 51. And shout outs to Eddie George. Eddie George came up there with the family of a fallen soldier. And, of course, Eddie George was sporting the Steve McNair jersey, which I thought was awesome. I mean, that was extremely cool. On my Facebook page, and also on my Instagram, I have it where the pick was being made. And I was elated because I thought A.J. Brown is perfect for this offense. Great screen pass, a great screen player. He did a lot of damage in the slot, but can also play outside. I think he has a lot more speed than people think. And, he ain't as fast as Hollywood Brown or he ain't as fast as Hollywood Brown or Deebo Samuel or nothing like that, but he got some speed of his own. So A.J. Brown definitely got some speed, got some very good hands, definitely a willing blocker. I really like that pick of A.J. Brown, bringing an NWO to Nashville. So I definitely like that. And he could be a part of that mantra of hashtag Nashville Nasty. So make sure y'all start tweeting and Instagramming that out. I'm gonna start doing that too. With Titans and Truth. Nashville Nasty. Let's get that trending. Hashtag Nashville Nasty and also hashtag Music City Mayhem. I just think those will be some great hashtags on that. So Lil Kilo saying Amy stood up for him in reference to Jeffrey Simmons. Which they definitely did. We're talking some more comments about Jeffrey Simmons. Said, Amy stood up for him. C-Dub said, he'll say this here now. Simmons will have a better career than Cleveland Farrell, who went number 4 to the Raiders, which I thought was the shocking pick of the whole draft. That one shook me up tremendously. I knew Cleveland Farrell would go in the first round, but I didn't think he was going that early. Absolutely did not see that. So Marcus Marigoda said if Simmons didn't have an ACL injury, he would have been a Raider at 4. I agree. Simmons would have went in the top 5 at the worst, top 10. C-Dub says Simmons' life and his actions speak for themselves on how he's matured as a person. I agree. D09 says you never should put your hands on a woman, but what are we going to do? Hold it over his head for the rest of his life? I wish people would let that go. He said he was sorry about it. I agree with that, D09. I agree 100% with that. And they didn't even show the man's highlights. I'm going to get to that later. So hold your thought on that one. Can you imagine Sue, Casey, and Simmons? God help the quarterback. I agree with that. If they get a Dominican Sue again, Luck, Watson, Foles will have nightmares at night. And you might as well throw Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes and Drew Brees into that mix. So, Lil Kilo said, I shed a couple of tears when they selected AJ with the pick. Lil Kilo, why you shed some tears? I mean, talk to me. I want to know about that. You know, I was happy too. So I definitely agree with that. Marcus said DK is so overrated. Maybe we'll find out. We'll definitely find out. I like the combination as well with Simmons and Casey Classic Ride. What's up with you on that graveyard shift? Definitely. And I agree. AJ Brown is a steal. Absolutely. DK Metcalf had a lot of injuries. I agree with that. NFL Network compared AJ Brown to Juju. I like that comparison. But D09, like I said, AJ's got a little bit more speed than you think. He may not be Hollywood Brown fast, but he can still make moves. Check out the highlight of him against Vanderbilt. He caught a little curl route, made the turn, ended up dodging past 3 guys, and took it all the way in like a 78-yard touchdown. So definitely check that out, him against Vanderbilt. And so I definitely agree. You know, Marcus is getting all the weapons he needs, so he's got to succeed. I agree with that. And speaking of another weapon, number 3, the 3rd round pick was Nate Davis at 82, offensive lineman from Charlotte. And if y'all remember my offensive line video after the combine, I said that Nate Davis could be a dark horse pick, and he got picked. I honestly thought they were going to go Connor McGovern, who was still on the board as well at that time, but they decided to go with Nate Davis, and I thought Nate Davis was pretty impressive given his size. He could definitely be an upgrade over Josh Klein and could slide into that spot at right guard. Him and Kevin Pompfield are going to battle out for that spot along with Corey Levin. So I think definitely I think the offensive line improved with that Davis pick. So I am starting to grow on Nate Davis a lot more. And it was something that I was hearing today where there was a little issue with Nate Davis's technique. And I think they said the offensive line coach went down and worked with him after about a week or so. Problem solved. So it sounds like Nate Davis is very coachable and definitely wants to get better. And that was some stuff that he said. He said, I'm coming to start. He said, I'm coming to start right now. I want to be the starting right guard off top. That's definitely what he said. And CW, I agree with that. If Nate Davis played at a bigger college, he would have gone second round or earlier. And I definitely agree with that. So, yeah, he was definitely good. Because I was kind of sad seeing Eric McCoy and Chris Lindstrom going ahead and Garrett Bradbury going ahead of us. But I like the Nate Davis pick. Number 4, and probably a pick that I think a lot of people in the Titans organization think was probably the best value pick, was in the 4th round with Armani Hooker coming in, the safety from Iowa. And this kid is good. I mean, this kid can play. He can play some free safety. He can play strong safety. He has some return ability. He's probably going to help on special teams. John Robinson, this is the only trade that he made. He traded up to get Armani Hooker. And, I remember he came in as a top 30 visit. And, he's eager to learn from Kevin Byard and Kenny Vaccaro. I don't know how that's going to work with all 3 of those guys. I know Kevin Byard's contract is coming up, and Hooker could be an insurance policy if something happens where Byard ends up walking, which I don't think is going to happen, by the way. I think Byard is back. I think Byard gets signed before training camp. I'm going to say before week 1, Kevin Byard has a new contract. Hands down. That's just what I think is going to happen. Byard will have a new deal before week 1. That's my honest opinion. But Amani Hooker, excellent pickup by John Robinson. And there have been glowing reviews about him that, he is definitely something to watch out for. He could make an immediate impact right away. So let's see. CW said Davis is gonna move people like a bulldozer in the running game. He's definitely good in the running game. So and then Joseph says, if we don't make it to the Super Bowl anytime soon, I will take the Cleveland Browns over the New England Patriots. I'm so dang tired of having Golden Boy in the Super Bowl. I could not agree more. Little Kilo, tears of happiness. There you go. I agree with that. I hear what you're saying. And definitely Hooker is a beast at the nickel. I can see him definitely doing that, which might take some snaps away from Logan Ryan a little bit. So, and then DO9 talking about Cleveland. Wait till you hear what I got to say with my Shut Your Piehole moment. That's definitely coming up. Greg Cosell said Hooker is going to be a great nickel player. And, Greg Cosell and John McClain of the Houston Chronicle, those guys know football. And so does Dave McGinnis, Coach McGinnis. They said some great things about Amani Hooker, and he could definitely make an impact. So I like the Amani Hooker pickup. In the 5th round, DeAndre Walker, outside linebacker from Georgia. And now he's a guy that could provide some great depth and could be a surprise in the 5th round. And as all of you know, 5th round has been golden for John Robinson in the past. I mean, you had he's now one of the starters now, definitely. So, I mean, LaShawn Sims did some things in the 5th round as well. So he was a 5th round pick. And, he did a few things well and, stuff like that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Dane Cruikshank is a 5th round pick as well, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. But I believe Dane Cruikshank is a 5th round pick. So, never mind. CW straightened me out. 3rd round. Never mind that. But John Robinson has hit the gold mine when it comes to the 5th round. So maybe he hit another one with DeAndre Walker. We're definitely going to find out. Definitely did some good at Georgia. So he'll definitely come in and compete for some depth snaps and everything to back up Cameron Wake and Harold Landry. So I think that was a value pick. And Classic Rod said Byard ain't going to leave. They're going to pay him. And like I said, I agree. I don't think the mayor of Murfreesboro is going anywhere anytime soon. I definitely don't think he's going anywhere. Let's see, CW said Walker was going in the 3rd round in a lot of boards. And so that's what it was. Yeah, I believe Dane Cruikshank was a 5th round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I saw in a lot of different boards talking about DeAndre Walker. They had him going like in the 3rd round, and some even thought that he may sneak into the 2nd or even the 1st round in some box. But to get him in the 5th round was a great value pick. And so also David Long in the 6th round, an inside linebacker from West Virginia, probably going to help on special teams and more for depth, definitely. So he might make Brendan Trawick very expendable, and they're probably going to cut Darren Bates as well because of that incident that he was dealing with. So we'll definitely try to find out on that because I think they claimed a linebacker off waivers from Tampa Bay. I think Ray Bulla or something like that. I couldn't remember his name. So Demotivation saying Marcus is the one that's going to be gone. I hope not. But this is Marcus Mariota's last chance. No excuses. No, nothing else. Nothing else can be held back for him. He's got to be full go. So, CW says, I think Rashaan Evans is going to get snaps on the edge more than a lot of people think. And I can see that happening because, right now, Wesley Woodyard is playing out of his mind. You can't take him off the field. Jayon Brown is playing lights out. You can't take him off the field. So I think Rashaan Evans is going to get some snaps on the edge. And so I think that's something that could definitely happen. Or if they go to like a 4-3 set, you could probably see Rashaan Evans, Wesley Woodyard, and Jayon Brown in that situation as well. So, that's something that could definitely happen. So all in all, I gave the Titans a solid A-. I thought the Titans did extremely well. If they hit on some of these guys, I think that becomes an A+. And definitely if Jeffrey Simmons comes back from injury and is a monster, it will definitely be an A+ in my opinion. But I think A-, I think B+, A- is about the best you're going to get. I think Mel Kiper said a B+. I believe there were some other people that said A-. Some said A. Some said a solid B. I did see a couple of trolls say a C for the Titans, but I think they did way better than that. But again, I'd say an A-. I think definitely A-. Marcus Marigold said, I will miss Bates. He was a good hype man. I agree. He was definitely a guy that played the music in the locker room and stuff like that, but you can't do something stupid by being caught with marijuana. I'm like, come on, man. You're better than that. You are a Tennessee Titans football player. You got to be better. And that's just not going to fly with John Robinson, honestly enough. But again, now to the atmosphere of Nashville again. Set records. I think we had more people there than the Dallas, Philly, and the Dallas, Philly, and Chicago draft combined at close to 600,000. Now, I don't know how they make the count of all of that because like myself and some others, some people went to the draft all 3 days. So I don't know how they counted that, but I could tell probably with all of that, there was at least more than 400,000 or 500,000 people there. So, I think it's pretty legit. It was packed out from the stage all the way back to about, close to 5th Avenue, at least. So, there were fans everywhere. And I believe somebody said on the radio that all 32 teams were represented at this draft. All 32. And it looked crazy. Crazy packed. And, I came in, I went to the experience on Friday, crossed the bridge, and then took the stairs down to Second Avenue and got in on the crowd there. Of course, saw the ESPN, one of the ESPN Game Day broadcast booth set up right there at 2nd Avenue. And then some other people were set up at Rock Brewery. And then, of course, you had ESPN on one side and NFL Network on the other side by the Hard Rock. So, it was crazy. The atmosphere was incredible. Nashville, stand up. Stand up. You were incredible. And I felt so much pride, not only as a Titans fan, but as a Nashvilleian seeing all of this. The Preds started all of this, and it just got bigger. So I'm going to say to all you Titans fans out there that showed up at the draft, show up at some games. Show up at some games. I want Nissan Stadium to be just like that on Sundays, screaming loud and proud. So that's what I would have to say about that. CW says, he was like, the draft looks stunning on TV. He's a Titans fan in South Dakota. He says, Titan get an A from me. The only thing not giving an A+, and I'm going to go back up for a second. Only thing not giving an A+ was not getting immediate impact from Simmons, but you can't have everything. True enough. Do9 says, I mean, I hope he does. Talking about Marcus, I want to see him do good, but he has to be. But he has to be. He has been too inconsistent. Which I mean, I agree. He definitely has some inconsistencies. So he's got to, definitely be more consistent, get the ball out quicker, and sometimes you can help your O-line out instead of your O-line helping you out. So Marcus has got to step up. I agree. CW said, I did not know Nashville could hold that many people. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I mean, stand-up job. And the thing that I was more impressed with, it didn't really mess with traffic. I mean, living here in Nashville, going to work every day, traffic is always a problem. And I just thought that the traffic was going to be quantified with the draft. It didn't. I mean, I was able to get to and from the draft really with no problem. Parked at Nissan Stadium. I mean, parked at Nissan Stadium, had some good spots. And I think the last day on that Saturday, I parked a little bit away from the stadium, but there was a shuttle that took us over. To everything. So I was cool with that, and I just thought that was great. So shout out to Nashville for that. Amy did awesome. Marcus Mariota, I agree with that. I just gotta say, F them Colts. I like that. I definitely like that. Do9 says, I mean, he has the weapons. He has the weapons that are giving him every opportunity to be successful. I'm not a big stat guy, but you got to throw more than 11 touchdowns. Agreed. Marcus Mariota, I have a season ticket. As a season ticket member, drive 2 hours to every game. We need the Nissan Stadium packed. I agree. Yeah. You know what? Exactly. With the Colts. I definitely agree with that. So we're going to talk more about that. But speaking of the Colts, let's also go around the AFC right quick with some picks that the other teams made. And we got to be aware of this. The Colts, of course, picked, once Jeffrey Simmons went off the board, I think in a way we stole Jeffrey Simmons from the Indianapolis Colts, because you noticed when we picked Jeffrey Simmons, the Colts traded out. They traded out of the first round completely because we stole their guy. And so shout out to John Robinson for that. But they went ahead and picked Rocky Sin, cornerback from Temple, Ben Banigou from TCU, who I liked, Paris Campbell, a wide receiver from Ohio State, which I kind of liked him too, and also Bobby Okereke from Stanford, Karai Willis from Michigan State, a safety, Marvell Tell, cornerback, USC, EJ Speed, a linebacker from Tarleton State, Jerry Green, defensive end, Mississippi State, Jackson Barton, a tackle from Utah, and Javon Patterson, a center from Ole Miss. We'll see what happens. I think Rocky Sin could be a problem. He could be pretty good. Paris Campbell, a very quick wide receiver. So, I mean, I think the Colts did hit a couple of nice picks. So, I mean, that could be a problem. I don't think it was better than us. But, that's definitely something to watch out for. And CW saying, watch the Colts signs too to annoy me just as Luck does. I wish the Titans would sack him 4+ times in both games. Now, I agree. I think we should sign Ndamukong Suh just to make sure the Colts don't. I definitely agree with that. That would be just a petty reason, but I wouldn't mind that at all. Definitely. Next, I want to talk about the Jags right quick. And, Mama's boy hit the nail on the head. Josh Allen falling to the Jags at 7, that hurt my heart. That was one team I did not want touching Josh Allen more than any other team, was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got Josh Allen. That hurt. That hurt the soul, definitely. And then right behind that at 35 in the second round, they get Jawan Taylor, the offensive lineman from Florida, who I pegged going to the Jags at 7. And so they got 2 first-round players back to back. And then, of course, they got Josh Oliver, tight end from San Jose State, which I think they reached on that. I think they did a lot of reaching. Quincy Williams, safety from Murray State in the third round. Raquel Armstead from Temple. They picked another quarterback, Gardner Minshew, the quarterback from Washington State. And then Dontavius Russell, defensive tackle from Auburn. I think besides the first two picks, they didn't really do very well. I think Josh Allen and Jawan Taylor could be good, but I think Jawan Taylor had some injury concerns, so that's why he got dropped as far as he did. But I mean, good value pick and everything, but we'll see with Jackson. I don't know if that's enough offensive line help, but of course, Tom Coughlin wants more defensive help. So Marcus Margola says Giants' fault for that, why they did pick Daniel Jones over Allen. That was one of my surprising picks, along with Cleveland Farrell, was Daniel Jones at 6 to the Giants. And if y'all heard me on the draft coverage, I said, why did they pick him that high? They could have got him at 17. If they had gotten him at 17, I guarantee you Giants fans would be okay with that. But the fact that they picked him at 6 was stupid, in my opinion. So, the only thing with Allen, I think he fits better in a 3-4 than a 4-3. He's a bit undersized for 4-3. Now, I agree. I think Josh Allen is better fit for the 4. And now, last but not least, let's talk about the Houston Texans and what they did in the draft. I honestly think they got destroyed when the Philadelphia Eagles went above them to take Cody Ford at 23. I just think that's what hurt them. I think, honestly enough, the Texans were keyed in on Cody Ford, and I think the Eagles knew that too. They traded up to get him instead. So they ended up going with Titus Howard, an offensive tackle from Alabama State, which I did not have him pegged anywhere, which nobody pegged him in the first round. I don't think he was pegged in the second round. So I think the Texans severely reached on that one. In the second round, they got Lonnie Johnson, a cornerback from Kentucky. They did need cornerback help, definitely. So they needed help there. Max Sharpering, offensive lineman from Northern Illinois. Again, I think they reached for that. They did need offensive line help, but they could have gotten better. They still could have had Dalton Reisner was on the board. Eric McCoy was on the board. So they could have gotten some offensive line help, but they really did not do a good job there. They got Kahale Warren, the tight end from San Diego State, who was, again, sidekick to Josh Oliver. Charles Omenihu, they got in the 5th round, defensive end from Texas. Now, I thought that was a nice pickup. Kept him in the state of Texas. Xavier Crawford, cornerback from Central Michigan. And then Cullen Gillaspara, running back from Texas A&M. So, of course, Texans got like C- and stuff like that, which I could agree with. I just think the Texans did not give Deshaun Watson a lot of help. So Deshaun Watson could be running for his life yet again this season. Oh, you know what? CW, thank you for straightening me out. I forgot. Cody Ford got picked by the Bills in the second round. That was Andre Dillard who got picked by the Eagles in round 1 for Washington State. So, yes, forgive me for that. And again, Titans and Truth. Again, we talk about truth on this show. If I'm making a mistake, call me out on my mistake. And CW, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Call me out on my bullcrap if I make a mistake. I don't mind holding myself accountable if I make a mistake. So, yes, thank you for that, CW, for holding me accountable for the mistake I made. Agreed. Cody Ford was there, and they didn't take him. So that was stupid. Joe says it's a blessing in disguise that we lost to the Indianapolis Colts week 17. We had some hurt players, and the Houston Texans would have killed us in the wild card round in the playoffs. Now, I tend to disagree with that, Joseph. I don't think the Texans would have killed us that time. I think it would have been a much better game than the last time we went to Houston, honestly. But we did have some hurt players. And then again, I don't know if Marcus would have played in that game, which I think if it was the playoff game, he would have played, in my honest opinion. So maybe that was a blessing in disguise. Classic, screw the Texans for wanting the Titans to relinquish the Oiler name. I talked enough about that on the previous show. I'm not really going to go into all that. Forget J.J. Watt, forget DeAndre Hopkins. I don't care about that. Texas just rolled dice when they drafted O-line. And CW said, I make mistakes too. Of course, we all do. We're all human. So I definitely agree with that. So let me go ahead and get to the end of the show. We're going to keep going. Shout out to the Titans Caravan that's been going on for the last week. Definitely shout out to Rashawn Evans, who has made it a goal to be at each and every stop on the Caravan. He's probably the only Titan. I believe Sharif Finch might be the other. They have been to every single Titans Caravan stop. Now, Marcus was at the stop in Spring Hill, and, he was talking about, the new weapons coming in and, can't wait to work with them. And he likes his new weapons and things like that. And he wants to get better and things like that. And I believe there was a comment I didn't get a chance to read. It was about Arthur Smith. I want to see if I can find it. If I did, I apologize. But yeah, Arthur Smith is going to be extremely important for this offense going forward. So, Classic Rod, I know you missed the stream. Don't worry about it. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it and enjoy it. So, I mean, it was fun. It was definitely fun. And so, Marcus Margolis said, I'm hoping to beat you this season. I said in section 146. Hey, I'm in section 143. So I'm not far away. And y'all beat up with me. And so I think first game of the regular season, first home game, I want a Titans and Truth roundup in the north end zone before the game. So I'm going to definitely talk about that. But that's something I want to put out. A Titans and Truth roundup, north end zone. So we can take a big picture and I can go live before the game starts. So we're going to definitely set that up, a roundup. I'm going to put it on Facebook as an event. So we could definitely meet up or maybe at one of the tailgates. That might be something else that I might look at doing this season is a Titans tailgate. So that's something that I'm thinking about doing as well. I might link up with Miss Margarita Lopez about that as far as doing a tailgate. So that's something I might think about. Let's see. CW said, one thing I'm a bit afraid of, I hope Walker and Smith stay healthy because behind them there's not much, but Ferkser is a solid receiving tight end. I think the tight end stepped up tremendously. We got Ferkser, definitely. We also got Michael Pruitt. And I think they may be bringing in another tight end very soon as well. So be on the lookout for that. So, yeah, I think they are banking on Smith and Walker being healthy. Playing the Texans twice within 2 weeks of the season is stupid. I agree with that. They could have spread that out. But definitely shout out to Rashawn Evans of the Titans Caravan. They're going to be in Murfreesboro next week. So I will definitely be there for that. So Titans and Truth might come on a little late that night because I'll be at the Titans Caravan in Murfreesboro next Wednesday night at 7:30 at the Kroger on Church Street. So that's where I'm going to be for that. Now, my blue bombshell this week, I wanted to give a shout out to all of the graduates, to everybody who's graduated from college or from high school, getting their diplomas or getting their degrees. Shout outs to everybody from TSU, from MTSU, from Vanderbilt, from Fisk, Austin P, all of the local schools. graduates. Congratulations. Also, congratulations to my cousin Adrian Cookie Cammon. Congratulations to her and to everybody at Nashville State for getting their associate degrees. I was at their graduation on Tuesday night. So shout out to all the graduates for getting their degrees. Education is extremely important, and I give applause to anybody that gets a degree. So shout out to all the graduates. Definitely. Shout out to all the graduates. Brandon, what's up, man? Glad to finally get you on here. Love all that you are doing. Super proud. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's what I try to do. I try to bring as much footage about the Titans to y'all as I can. I'm going to try to keep doing my job as best as I can, and I'm going to try to be more on time with the show and definitely keep doing it on Wednesday because y'all want it. I want to do it for you, and I'm going to keep doing it for you as well. Let's see. One and only. Do you think this is the best weapons Marcus ever had, and what do you think he'll do? I will be talking about predictions for players later on, probably before training camp. But I do agree. I think this is the best group of weapons Marcus has had in his 5 years of being the Titans quarterback, and he better use it because if he don't, he might be looking over his shoulder with Ryan Tannehill. So that's something that Marcus better step up with these guys. So I agree with that. Now, last but not least, before we get out of here, the Shut Your Piehole moment. And you know what? Thanks to y'all, I had one, but now I got 3 Shut Your Piehole moments. First of all, and I'm going to start early with ESPN. ESPN with the broadcast on the draft. Now, no disrespect to anybody that, works for ESPN, Louis Riddick, Booger McFarlane, and all of them. But that was just a damn shame. That was a travesty, an atrocity, what they did to Jeffrey Simmons during when we picked him in the draft. I mean, the first thing they decided to do is show the video of him beating up that girl when he was in high school. I just thought that was pathetic on their part. And I mean, why show that? Instead of talking about the bad, talk about the good. Show the highlights. You could have mentioned, yes, he had the altercation, later. But you could have shown highlights talking about how dominant of a player he was. Instead of that, they didn't even show highlights of Jeffrey Simmons on the football field. They decided to go straight to the video and, and all that, basically shaming him and basically pissing on the Tennessee Titans organization. So I just thought that was ridiculous. So to ESPN, shut your pie hole about that. Jeffrey Simmons has done wonders ever since. You could have talked about the positive instead of just dwelling on the negative. So that was stupid on ESPN's part. So enough about that. And CW said the worst part about that ESPN footage, they did not put it into context. I agree. They took all of it out of context. They basically talked about the bad, and then they decided to say, well, a lot of people vetted for him and all that stuff. I'm like, you could have at least talked about the good that he's done since then. Excuse me. And then talked about his accomplishments on the football field. This guy's an All-American. Come on. Y'all could have did better than that. ESPN, that's why a lot of ratings are going down for them and stuff like that. So I just thought that was stupid. The second Shut Your Pie Hole moment goes out to Reggie Wayne and Pat McAfee. These two disrespectful bums who were just sidekicks with Peyton Manning. I mean, let me put it to you like this. Reggie Wayne, Pat McAfee, where would y'all be without Peyton Manning? Don't worry, I'll wait. Y'all would be, and excuse my language on this, y'all would be a bunch of shit. Y'all would be nothing without Peyton Manning. Marvin Harrison was the only real good receiver that didn't have to be made by Peyton Manning. Reggie Wayne, you had to be made by Peyton Manning. Pat McAfee, you were a punter. And you weren't even that great of a punter. We have a better punter in Brett Kern who could punt circles around you. So Shut your pie hole. Trying to talk bad about us. Talking about, yeah, y'all only beat us 3 times in 20 games. Yeah, we beat y'all tail in the playoffs. Remember when Peyton Manning was quarterback? Steve McNair and Eddie George beat y'all. And we've had some luck against you. And Pat McAfee, you a damn punter. What does a punter got to say? So to both of y'all, shut your pie hole. Both of y'all. And I want y'all to put that out. I want y'all to put that out on Twitter. And I want y'all to put that at Reggie Wayne or at Pat McAfee, whatever their Twitter account is. I want y'all to make sure they got that. Shut your pie holes. Both of y'all. Y'all weren't even relevant. Y'all were relevant because of Peyton Manning. After Peyton Manning was gone, Reggie Wayne, you were irrelevant. The Patriots didn't even want to sign you. That's how irrelevant you were. Trying to talk all trash. In our city? Yeah, you need to shut your effing pie hole up. That's what you need to do. Both of y'all suckers. And last but not least, Cleveland Browns. And I'm really not going to even talk, well, I take that back. I won't talk bad about the coach because the coach has kind of brushed this all under the rug saying, look, we ain't done nothing yet. We ain't done nothing to deserve this hype. We ain't done a thing. We were 7-8-1 last year. We hadn't done a thing. We haven't even won a division. And they already trying to crown us as Super Bowl champions or get into the Super Bowl. We ain't done a thing. Now, I know with the national media, I mean, let's see. This time last year, or even a couple of years ago, the Cleveland Browns were the laughingstock of the NFL. And all because the Browns drafted Baker Mayfield, traded for OBJ, traded for Jarvis Landry, got Kareem Hunt. All of a sudden, the Cleveland Browns are the most unstoppable team in the NFL. They are the off-season darling of the national media. And I'm like this. What have the Cleveland Browns done? Don't worry, I'll wait. Now, Cleveland was good back in the 80s. After that, what have they done? Nothing. Yes, they got OBJ and Jarvis Landry. And OBJ talked about we will be the Patriots in 5 years. I doubt that highly. And I mean, Odell is doing all this because he wants attention. I mean, did y'all see the picture of him at that Met Gala on Monday? The dude was wearing sleeveless tuxedo with a kilt. If that ain't crying for help, if that ain't crying for attention, I don't know what is. And Antonio Brown, same thing. He being a diva out in Oakland, talking bad about Juju and talking bad about Pittsburgh. I'm like, dude, you in Oakland. Focus on the Raiders. Shut up. Shut your pie hole for a moment. And I mean, I'm just sick and tired of the media basically trying to just throw the Cleveland Browns in our face. I mean, last year the Browns didn't even have a primetime game at all. And now they got like 4. They got like 2 Sunday night games. They got like a Monday. They got like 2 Monday night games. And I think they have 1 or 2 Sunday night games. Yet the Tennessee Titans couldn't even get a Monday night game. And I thought that was a travesty. That all of a sudden, the Cleveland Browns just shot all the way up to like the best team in the NFL off-season wise. So, I mean, it's like right now, the Browns are the sexy team right now. They made the splashy moves. Now everybody want to talk about them. And now, of course, everybody's just basically saying that the Cleveland Browns are just going to run us over in week 1. They're just basically saying Titans shouldn't even make the trip, that we're going to get slaughtered week 1. I'm going to be like this. Tennessee going to go up there and we kick some butt. Won't be talking about, that will shut that whole love for the Cleveland Browns up real quick. Real quick. So for OBJ, quit dressing like a woman, because all of a sudden I'm thinking, something ain't there or something ain't here. So, yeah, shut your pie hole. And let me read some more comments before I get out of here. Yeah, let's see. Let's see, demotivate saying, I hate to keep saying this, y'all, but we are so talented as a team. The only thing stopping us is the quarterback. We have everything in place. It comes down to Marcus this season, now or never. I agree. Let's see. No doubt he's got the best weaponry he ever had, C-Dub. And Steven C agrees. Steven C coming in. What's up with you, Steven? He says ESPN equal politics. Bad politics. I agree. Marcus Mariota said that's why NFL Network is better. And shout out to Good Morning Football. I could not get to Tootsies to see it, but shout out to them and Taylor Lewan, Jarrell Casey, and Delaney Walker and Derrick Henry. They was hype all 3 days. So shout out to Good Morning Football. I love Good Morning Football, always. CW said the worst part about ESPN footage is that they did not put into context. Yep. The whole mainstream sports analysts are disrespected Titans and putting them around 20 in power rankings. They're going to regret that. Agreed. They need to stir pots for some news to be relevant, Brian says. Pat McAfee was pretty funny, though, not going to lie. Yeah, funny and stupid. That's what I got to say about that. CW said the only thing Wayne and McAfee ever did was Manning carried them to a ring, and you lost a lot of playoff games. Yep, that much is true. CW says Skip Bayless keeps hating on Marcus and taking Prescott when Marcus destroyed you in Dallas last year. You got to remember, C-Dub, Skip Bayless is a Cowboys fan. So, of course, he's going to side with Dak and deny the beating that we gave them. He's a Cowboys fan. He's, of course, going to talk up Dak. As much as Dak probably doesn't deserve $30 million, which he's probably going to get because Jerry just is going to do that stupidly. Now, no disrespect to Dak. Dak is a decent quarterback. I think Marcus is better than Dak, but it is what it is. But Skip is a fan of the Cowboys. So that's why he keeps hating on Marcus, which I don't like that either. Is Hunt available to play ASAP? I think he's suspended the first 8 games, so I don't think he's available. Let's see. C-Dub said OBJ wants to turn Browns into the Patriots. Has he forgot he's a diva wide receiver, not the head coach of a team? Plus, how much did he win in New York? Agreed. Leave that to the coach. Quit crying for attention. Classic Rod says, Reggie Wayne is the Alvin Harper of the Colts back then. I like that. Can't wait to smack those clowns week 1. I like that, Marcus Marigold. I like that. With AB, he is such a hypocrite, blaming Schuster when he did nothing but show up for the game. When he did not even show up for a game he could have had. I despise diva wide receivers. Yeah, he's a diva, all right. They have something to hang their hat on now. As you said, they were the laughing stock of the league for so long, but no matter what, it's all hype. I agree. Definitely all hype. We're going to find out week 1 if that hype is real or if that hype is fake. So we're definitely going to see if they're contenders or pretenders. Definitely with that. But y'all, I know I done held y'all for over an hour. I thank y'all for sticking with me. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at Titans_N_truth, and on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer, and that is TNT BLUEN4CER. And then also on Facebook under Chris A. Newell, and also the TNT Enforcers page. So follow me there. And I'm going to definitely be working on getting the website updated. So I apologize for that. Thank y'all for sticking with me. I appreciate y'all. CW said Browns are all on paper, nothing on the field. Agree with that. Marcus, thank y'all for the support. I'm glad I brought y'all another great episode. I'm going to holler at y'all, and let's tighten up. And thank God Friday is here. Tighten up, tighten tough. Tighten up, tighten tough. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.